Hey, Chris Tiroff here at Duke Saw Salvage, www.sawsalvage.co, Traverse Creek Incorporated, Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. Echo, Husqvarna dealers,
Dear
blah,
God.
blah, 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 blah. Here with Dave Smith, Chainsaw Conservation Components, Definitive Dave.
Yeah.
This is kind of like our first interview style YouTube video that we're talking about. And me and Dave kind of known each other, what, 10 years?
Probably about that. Yep, yep.
And never been like super close, but always kept in contact with each other. And
Right.
I think Dave's got some interesting stuff to talk about, so that's what we're going to do today.
And if I remember right, you bought me out one time and I bought you out one time.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think initially, whenever I came out to see you, I hadn't heard of you before, but somebody told me on Arborist site that you had a bunch of like new old stock. It was like Pioneer stuff and like a number of other things. So I took a ride out there and filled the trailer up.
And at that time I thought, if it's not steel, it must be terrible. Please.
Has that changed with you?
Yeah, I mean, I still like steel, but yeah, I definitely.
Which is actually an awesome segue into what I want to talk about.
Sure.
The words that you said to me.
Yep.
Okay, and I think I don't want to say this is verbatim, but I think what you said is Echo is only 2/3 as good as steel, so they should only charge 2/3 as much.
God, I was thinking you asked me, what do you think of Echo these days? And the way I remember it, I said, for a homeowner, it's a home run. The newer stuff is much better than what I remember from the first time I bought an Echo chainsaw that I paid $169 for, and it was tiny.
Fair.
But I think for a professional, it is not marquee enough of a brand.
So it's more about like the brand image to you,
Perception, yes.
not the performance.
Right. I mean, everybody makes jokes. Oh, don't cut yourself on the plastics on that. You know,
Right.
Everybody's got sandpaper. That's an issue we can fix. Oh, wait, that doesn't even really exist. But for me, if my neighbor's having work done in his front yard, well, and say not my neighbor, because my neighbor's kind of a douche, but I'm in a nice neighborhood. Somebody on the street's getting tree work done. If I see like mismatched equipment,
Sure. Six different color panels on the truck.
And they're using the man lift to swing from a rope the chunks of tree into the back of the chipper truck.
I feel like you've seen this before. This isn't a made up. This is a
No.
This is a
Yeah.
truthful statement.
I can almost bet those guys aren't running new top of the line saws.
So what's interesting, I think regionally brands are different. So
Sure.
on the East Coast, you're going to see Red Max, you're going to see Maruyama, and you don't see that kind of like in the in the middle of the country, like where we're at. You see Steel and Husqvarna, and you see Echo. Typically in this area, you see professionals. They're running Steel trimmers
Okay.
or Echo trimmers.
Yeah.
You see that, like, if you look at all the trailers, you never see Husqvarna trimmers
Nope.
in on professionals' trucks, like on the racks.
Right.
But for chainsaws, tree work guys, you almost exclusively see Husqvarna or Steel chainsaws
Okay.
and Echo top handles. So you'll see some
New Echo top handle is strong, and I mean,
The 355 is a great. Now the 2511 is a neat little light chainsaw that that already performs well.
and can be made
to perform really
Yes,
well. The
absolutely.
355 for $350, it's a fantastic chainsaw.
And the steel at that price range is a 194.
Yeah, throw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
Like as a pro, throw it in the garbage.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to hook that on your saddle and go up a tree.
Right.
You know. And at this point, I mean, the 200 might still be the king of climbing saws.
It's gone.
But you can't get one.
It's gone.
And there's not enough great replacement parts to keep them running unless you want to spend $1,400 bucks to rehab it with all OEM stuff. And then if you don't have the right guy do it, wow, I got a $1,400 paperweight.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, the 200T is kind of the gold, has been considered the gold standard of
But-
top panel saws, but I think it's one of those things that each day that goes on, each day that passes, it becomes more and more obsolete.
It loses a little ground.
Yeah, it loses a little.
I have not ever played, maybe ever, with a Red Max top handle at all.
So the Red Max, I think pretty much the Red Maxes have a Husqvarna, because the Red Max brand is kind of like a lean down version of Husqvarna. So they have a Husqvarna equivalent. Sometimes they're a Red Max design saw.
And sometimes they're not.
Sometimes they're not. And I don't think that there's any rhyme or reason behind that.
Right.
Like the Husky, I think the Husky T435
Okay.
is a Red Max saw. It's a weird fucking saw. It's a weird saw. I don't know if you
And it doesn't fit in their lineup because it doesn't look like all the others because it's not the
It's
same
obviously
thing.
different. Like if it's obviously different. I don't have one here.
Okay.
But the muffler, the exhaust port actually is up near the bar plate. The muffler is so long it goes. It's a horizontal saw. The
Okay.
muffler's so long it comes out and the exhaust spits out in the front of the saw out there, like it shoots out over the bar. It's the oddest design I've ever seen.
I wonder if out west where they have to have screens and everything because it's dry weather, that sets
But
things
really,
on fire.
really, the Red Max brand is strongest out on the East Coast. So you're talking New York City, you're talking Boston, you're talking Philadelphia, I think DC, like along that I-95 corridor. That's where it's at, and nobody else knows about it. And I think Shindawa is similar. So
Same deal.
Shindawa used to be their own company with their own engineering and own designs, and then they got bought out by Echo, I'm gonna say 2008-ish.
Sounds about right.
And I think now they just share technology together. And basically, I mean, I can order Shindawa stuff here,
Right.
but they're analogous to each other, the
Yeah.
same thing. So it's just a
Yep.
black and red. It's like a Pontiac Sunfire and a Cavalier. You know
Yep.
what I mean? It's the same thing.
Yep. Okay.
So,
Yeah, I was kind of upset that John's Red went away because my wife always thought they were way cooler than a Husqvarna. Like, you look at the two of them, she'll take the 2171
yeah,
any day.
me too. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
But there's a couple of the Red Max models that are the same that I'm good with those.
Yeah, I think it's like the GZ 7100 or
Some, yeah. I think there's a 7,000 and a 5,000 and they're all
Husky.
they're all Husky somethings.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. So, can we say that if it wasn't for the guy with the 3-panel truck, like if we took the guy out of the 3 different color panel truck and the guy that's renting the lift, and you're one small window of a guy using Echo equipment, can we say that the equipment is good?
Yeah. It's got a great warranty. There's nothing about it that makes me not like it. I just think they get beat at advertising by Husky and Steel. I mean, Steel is not afraid to make a terrible commercial for a product that I would never use.
Right.
And Susie Homeowner slaps a battery in it and weed eats her sidewalk during the Super Bowl 16 times.
Well, so it's incredible. I've got people that come in here that are like diehard Steel people, and they come in. There's a dealer right down the street, and I'm in a city environment. He's only a couple blocks away, and people will come down here specifically to tell me that they only buy Steel. They'll walk in my store, and Echo and Husky shop, and they'll tell me, "Hey, I only buy Steel." And like, I mean, it's the same guy that's got a diesel pickup. He's got a Steel. License plate on his thing. He might even have it tattooed on his arm. I don't know, and I can't knock him for it. Like if he likes the brand,
you buy what
he
you
makes
like,
his living
but-
doing it, and it treats him well. How can you knock him for it? I can only talk about my experience in the brand,
Right.
and what I've seen, and the quality of the equipment that I see, the quality control, the reliability of it. and the warranty and how they service the warranty, I think
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
How you deal with the distributor and the manufacturer
it's fantastic.
is way better. Yes.
It's fantastic. And then the pricing increases on parts. They just went through a pricing increase on parts. Now Husqvarna, I know, I want to say for us it was somewhere in the realm of like 10% increase at least in parts. I'm not sure off the top of my head. The Echo stuff is like 2%, 3% on parts. They were able to manage it all the way up to this point without a price increase, and they did it the 1st of October. And they also did not increase prices on any of the equipment all the way up till October 1st.
Nice.
And the biggest price increases on the equipment was $30. So on some of them, and it was all like the Pro Series stuff, so like your 90.
Sure, the stuff that's the most expensive.
2511.
Yeah.
And like their price point items, like the SRM 225, they're still sticking to that $200 price point. On the CS 590, they're still sticking to the $400 price point. So it's pretty incredible what they've been able to do, whereas some of the other companies in the industry have struggled. And because most of their production is in the States, how they've been able to manage the back orders and the equipment. Like I've been able to get equipment. It might not be the exact setup I want. Like I might be getting a 355 with a 16-inch bar, but I normally stock 14s. But I've been able to get and stock equipment, have stuff throughout the last year. So I guess my opinion of it is going to be different than somebody out there in the field. But like I see what I see with it, and I deal with it every day, and it's.
And know what you see.
I sleep really good at night. Like I sell it to my neighbors, and like they ask me, hey, can you hook me up with a piece of equipment? And like I'm not worried about it. Like did I sell them a piece of shit?
Right.
I'm not thinking about that at all. Like I recommend it. I mean it.
Nice. That kicks ass. And yeah, it just you get to see what comes back too.
Right.
And if it's occasionally one of this, one of that, because people break shit. Everybody does. People do dumb stuff. But it's not.
I've had
every one of that pruner came back.
Right. I think I've had two in the last. So I've been in business with Echo for like a year and a couple months.
Okay.
I think I've had like two warranty claims on equipment. One.
Wow.
One. Mm-hmm. Well, 2 warranty claims on new equipment that I sold.
Okay.
One was they shipped a chainsaw without a bar. So in order to get the bar, you have to file a warranty claim. That's how it works.
Okay.
So that was a warranty claim.
Mm-hmm.
And the other warranty claim was SRM 225 trimmer. Guy brought it in. I sold it to him. Usually I start a lot of equipment up, but the trimmers, they're always right out of the box, so I don't start them up for him. And I sold it to the guy, and he comes back with it, and he goes, this thing won't prime. And he's like, I can't get it started. So then I get it, and I prime it. I'm not getting nothing. So I'm like, it's got to be a carburetor. Stupid me, I didn't even look at it. I call in, do the warranty claim, send him out the door with another trimmer, because I didn't want to waste his time. Gave him another trimmer.
Right.
And I threw a new carburetor on it. Still won't prime. What the hell is going on with this thing? Because I switched the lines and everything on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
All it was that little thing on the cap had twisted around the fuel line, and it got pulled up into the filler neck on the tank and just came to line. And that's all it was. And I filed a claim on the damn thing. And that was it.
Did you find out before Echo found out? Or did they send it back to you and say,
they just had me handle it.
Oh, okay.
So
you figured out the problem.
I figured out the problem. But
that would be a lot more embarrassing if they sent you a little note.
Well, but what ended up happening was I still had that carburetor there, and somebody got a free carburetor.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay. Yep.
All right. So enough about my bullshit. Let's talk about Dave.
Okay.
I mean, can you handle that?
Yeah.
What kind of ever since I've known you, you've been into the chainsaws. Obviously, It's gotten a little bit more.
Right.
I want to say intense.
Yeah.
With you in the last, since I've known you, because I think initially when we were talking, you were doing a lot of the aftermarket parts sales, and you were doing a lot of those. Like you would kind of. I think you were like one of the first guys that was getting those kits in and putting those kits together. On the complete saws. Mm-hmm. But I don't think you were racing at the time.
No, not really.
So So I've known you through that, but what got you into it in the first place? I guess. What is the catalyst for all this. So we're going to talk about. We had a little bit of an episode there.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. No, that's fine.
So we're gonna talk about what kind of the catalyst of you getting into this whole chainsaw scenario. So you know how you start down one road and then you end up where you're at.
Yeah. So initially had a landscape company, private neighborhood. We did all their stuff, and in the dead of winter, they had a tree come down across their private drive. So we had 15 people who couldn't go to work that morning and everything. So I stopped at the local supply place and bought the cheapest Echo they had, and then drove to the job site to find out that it's about a 24-inch trunk, and it's definitely bigger than I can move myself. But me and that 16-inch Echo, we cut it into about 12 pieces that I could roll off the side of the road into a ravine, thankfully. And so I wasn't super stoked to do much more chainsaw work after that, after doing the wrong job with the wrong tool.
Right.
Eventually, I had a guy come to work for me from down in Guatemala, and he was line clearance certified and everything. I mean, just an insanely good climber. And at that point, we were turning away tree work and just referring it to guys in the business. And he looked at me and said, "Dave, no, we need to do this job." I said, "I don't have any equipment. I don't know how. I don't have the insurance." And he said, "Let's go to Buckeye Power Supply, our local place." And he said, "I need this and I need this." And so I bought a 200T new off the shelf that day for $600. I wish we could still do that. But over the course of 3 years, we started doing a lot of tree work and crazy fun stuff. And I got into chainsaws. And had a buddy of mine who does fire restoration, general contractor, say, "Hey Dave, can I borrow a couple chainsaws? I need to clear some land. I bought the empty lot next to my house." So I take it over, show him, loan him a pair of MS361s. And I don't hear from him for quite a while. We were good buddies, referred a lot of work back and forth. Finally, I called him. I said, "Hey, I'm getting ready to do a job. I'm going to need," I think I only left him one. "I'm going to need that 361 back." He said, "Oh, okay, I'll leave it out for you." I thought, that's weird. Why didn't he just bring it back over? He said, the starter is a little sticky." Okay. And, I'm thinking he dumped Mountain Dew on the handle. No. What he meant was one of his guys straight gassed my saw. And by sticky, he means when you grab it, it doesn't move at all. So I went to the local shop. They gave me an estimate to repair it that was basically, "Dave, you need to go out front and buy an MS362 for $721 because this saw is done."
Very specific amount of money.
I remembered because I bought it. And it sucked. It was a crappy saw. Coincidentally, also my first ported saw. I asked Mastermind about it after finding forums and stuff. And he said, "You got a guy right up north of you, Brad Snelling. He does a good 362, and he did. He did a great job."
This is Arborist Site days, right?
This is Arborist Site
This
days.
is back before, because Arborist Site was kind of like, initially, that was the place where chainsaw guys go. I remember because I would search chainsaws, and like you would search a chainsaw, and the only fucking query that would show up would be
Arborist Sites.
Right.
Yep. So, kind of at the same time this is going on, I'm looking for a big saw. Carlos is telling me I need an 066. So I'm searching everywhere for an 066. They're a bunch of money. I end up accidentally buying a chainsaw store in Newark, Ohio. The guy's grandfather owned it, had retired.
Accidentally.
He said, "Yeah, I probably got the parts for an 066 if you want to come look at what I got." And he had a 2-car garage with so many chainsaws and parts in it that he had 6 of the extendable metal posts to hold up the rafters because there was so much weight up there of chainsaw stuff that the roof was going to fall. And he said, "I really just want to sell everything." And he had a lathe and all kinds of chainsaw tooling. And we arrived at a price, and he said, yeah, I'm glad, because my wife is having a Mustang hauled back from Texas that's rust-free, and she said she was going to set all this stuff out in the alley if it wasn't gone in 2 weeks. So, lo and behold, there was an 066 in there that was real messed up. And had I known it at the time, I would have fixed it. I sold it at my big chainsaw yard sale, which was kind of the first time I sold any chainsaw stuff. Advertised it on an arborist site. Bunches of guys were going to come. And then the link bucks thing happened. The week before.
What was the link? Is that when the site went down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the
what happened was, essentially, they sent the owner of the site a demand saying, pay up or you're not getting all your data back.
What's Linkbucks?
Linkbucks was some kind of an ad that we would all see when we tried to log on.
Oh, okay. Oh, was it like a ransom?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway,
yeah, I remember, because it happened like a number of times.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 or 4
and like all kinds of pictures and information was lost from their site.
It was a great place at that time. I haven't.
And recently it got sold.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so it's just crap now, apparently.
I haven't used it. I don't
Me either. I think I'm still an advertiser there. I might want to look at
they
that.
were emailing me. They were emailing me because I was sponsoring over there.
Right.
They were emailing me, but it's like I don't know any of these people.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So. But I knew, like I think it was Jen and Darren.
Yep.
Had it before.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I had known that they were the right ones, but now when you got people that call you or solicit you for stuff,
yeah,
who's who anymore?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So anyway, he locked up my saw. I took it in. They told me, hey, it's going to be $721. I bought that. Meanwhile, I bought a chainsaw store, and I'm now doing a lot of looking for stuff online because I'm.
So you went to the chainsaw store.
Mm-hmm.
You bought that guy's place over in Newark.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have intention on buying it when you went there, or did it just kind of happen?
Nope.
It just kind of
just
happened.
kind of, you know.
And then when you had that, did it spur an interest in chainsaws for you, or?
Not quite yet. At that point, it was just, wow, this is a great deal. I know what a chainsaw costs. There's 350 of them here, along with so many bars and chains and rolls of chains and other things that if I charge 10% of what I think this is worth,
you're good.
I'm going to triple my money.
Right.
Same time, I'm checking on eBay because somebody told me, Dave, you can fix that saw you've got. I picked up my 361. I find a cylinder kit, ironically, all these years later from HL Supply, for like $109 for my saw. I'm like, that's a lot less than $721. Comes to my house, I look at it, and realize I have no idea what I'm looking at. Never worked on a chainsaw. Barely can get the chain tight. It
seems insurmountable.
Right. When you have no idea,
Right.
you know, and right about that time that the big chainsaw yard sale happens, I just kind of put everything out on tables and racks and hung like 200 chainsaws on the one wall of the garage. And guys from Arborist site who had gotten my contact information before the site went down showed up that weekend. And like Gary Hearn, Guido Salvage, he bought so much chain his minivan squatted. I mean, he bought everything that was chain. He bought, 12 rolls and a couple 8-foot loops and just, I didn't know what it was worth. But at the end of that day, I had already doubled my money, and I looked around and went, shit, everything's still here.
Right.
So, I find on Craigslist a local fireman. He's a fireman 4 days a week, and he works on chainsaws. And he says he'll put my saw back together for $100. I'm like, okay, I got 100, I got another 100, 200, $721.
Still
And it's a better saw.
Right.
I hadn't had the 362 ported. So he had it for a day and he dropped it back off and it was great. I'm like, wait a minute, this is kind of cool. And I decided I was going to build a 460. and I built my first 046 D chamber. Didn't know that even meant anything back then. Completely out of parts that I bought individually used, because back then everybody said OEM is the only thing, everything else is total shit. And I built it. It was great. I did make a mistake. Somebody on one of the forums said that 044 and 046 use the same oil seals. We ran that saw for 2 years with the wrong oil seals before it started racing. Luckily, my climber was running it. I thought, wow, listen to that thing.
What's the difference? Is the outside or the diameter different?
Without looking at him, I don't remember, but yes. So the climber had the saw. He shut it right off and walked over. I'm like, what's wrong? That sounds great. He said, no, this is going to blow up.
Right.
Turns out.
That's the thing, too. It's like every time I saw it, before one blows up, guys are always like, it was screaming. It was running great.
It was awesome. It ran better than it ever
did.
had.
Right.
And then it just went ka-chunk.
Right.
So, anyway, my son had been going to college at the time and decided college wasn't for him. And the agreement was, if he didn't still go, all the loans were on him. So he needed a job. And I said, you know what? I still have tons of stuff. Arbor site was still completely fucked up. I couldn't get back on there. I said, your mother and I used to sell Japanese CDs and stuff on eBay. Why don't you take all the literature, take a picture of the front cover, put $10 on it shipped, put it in a flat envelope, and send it. You know, book rate.
Right.
And he began doing that, and then we realized, well, all this other stuff's sitting around in the way too.
Right.
And that's how we started selling stuff on eBay.
You found out it was worth money.
Mm-hmm. And then we figured out, you know what? Even with an aftermarket cylinder on it, that saw ran for 2 years. And then the cylinder was still fine when we replaced the oil seals. So we started kind of looking into stuff and buying parts to fix things. And then I realized, wait a minute, if I buy this stuff, other people will too, and just started buying more and more stuff to, you know, eventually we were buying pallet loads of stuff from China coming on boats. And
well, what's interesting about all that too is like how like Forrester and Bailey's kind of had the corner on the aftermarket stuff.
mm-hmm.
At that time.
And rotary and Stens.
Right. But now it's, you know, it's not like that.
Right. They were all buying that stuff from China and putting their boxes and labels on it
Right.
for years and years.
Right.
And, I mean, Oregon, they sell stuff that they make that's great. And they sell other stuff that's just fine.
And then they sell overpriced Chinese stuff that,
Sure.
you know, like an air filter I sell for $4, they're charging $28 for the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
So
And it's weird. I have been to dealers who believe that Oregon is OEM.
Yeah.
That
They have an interesting way of marketing.
And they've been around for a while too,
Right.
you know, and like bars and chains in the day,
Well, like
even
the,
now.
The Sten cylinders come out of the same factories as any other cylinder, and they charge $200 for those cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a cylinder that I'm selling for $50, you know.
But people don't know.
People don't know.
Yep.
People don't know.
So then through Arbor site, I met a guy who's kind of an asshole. Sean Nolder, goes by Square File online. Very opinionated. I'm not sure. I don't remember how we got to be kind of buddies, but he invited me to a get together at his house. And I said, you know, what should I bring? And he said, just bring a couple fast saws. So I get there. I've never met any of them. I'm kind of shy. Don't like people. And, yeah.
Okay.
And I get there, and these guys all have kind of smaller saws. But I've got my Mastermind 064. I was very proud of it. It's a badass clean saw. And I traded a lathe and chainsaw tooling and $100 for it. Sent it to Mastermind. I think back then a port job was like $250.
Yeah.
And I mean, he cleaned it up and everything. God, it was a nice saw. And when Carlos saw that, it was like I wasn't even allowed to touch it. He would polish it at the end of the night when we were done working. But so I put my longest bar on that, and my 046 I had bought, I had just gotten a Sugihara bar. I'm boring the shit out of you. Look at you, Elon.
Well, yeah, I like to talk.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
so
Wait till we get to my place.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So they're racing, and these guys have little tiny bars.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I bought my biggest dick, and you guys are here.
This little bar.
Yeah.
16-inch bar on a 660.
16-inch bar, yeah. And they're fast. So I walk up to the cant thinking, my shit's going to be just as fast. Look how big and beautiful my saw is. And it's this little 4x4 square, or 8x8 square piece of wood. Oh, no. They're cutting through it in 3 seconds. I'm cutting through it in 9, 10, 11. And they're all laughing, and I'm thinking, what the fuck? And he made me run a Husqvarna that day. He said, this is a 346 XP. I guarantee it's faster than your 064. I said, how does that even work? He said, it's just a different thing. I had never, am I lying? Best of my recollection, I had never run a Husqvarna before. Fuck, it sold me that day. I was like, what just happened? I said, you know, this is a race saw? He said, it's ported real good, but it's still got the air filter, it's still got the choke, and I can cut firewood with it all day if I change the tuning a little.
Right.
And I mean, I've always been a steel fanboy, but I've definitely learned that there's plenty of other fish out there that can swim.
Right.
And that kind of got me started into going to races, watching races, wanting to race a little bit, and then realizing we need more race parts, and, you know, now we make pistons and carburetors, coils and chains and bars, and, you know, I don't know. That's probably enough. We can look at all that crap when we're in my shop.
Yeah.
You can laugh at it there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I definitely want to check all that stuff out. Like, I've never seen any of those pistons that you have in person. Never had one.
Really?
No.
Oh.
And like you,
Damn, I should have
went
brought
from,
some of that.
You went from almost doing like what I do now, where just like you were selling
Mhm.
parts, because I sell OEM parts, I sell aftermarket parts, to like having almost none of that,
Right.
and focusing on mainly what, tools and race parts.
Yeah, and I sell OEM steel parts. It's my OEM Echo and Husqvarna, and Red Max, a little here or there, but stuff that the Echo tank vent.
It's a great tank vent.
I mean, why is there any other tank vent on any other model anything?
Well, that's the thing that's interesting. So like I was never a fanboy of any brand
Right.
specifically. Like if you would have asked me a couple years ago, like what was my favorite modern brand, I would have told you Husqvarna.
Okay.
I would have told you.
Fair.
I would have told you that. But just like you said, I mean, I think there's so many different things where there's, because you've got all that different engineering over years. Like it's just like Husqvarna has had some good ones and they've had some bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
Steel has had some good ones and they've had some bad ones. I mean, you don't hear anybody
Right.
saying an MS280 is a great chainsaw. It's a piece of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But there are, I think they all have interesting things, and that's what I've always been a fan of. Like the older American brands like Poulin,
Mm-hmm. McCullough, Homelight.
they all had cool stuff.
Yeah.
And that's, because they're all different. And they all
Mhm.
got a different way of skinning the cat, a different way. And I'm talking like those older ones were fucked up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They go together
And I mean,
everything. Now everything, they're all like,
very ergonomic and put together. And back then, there were some of them that just plain looked flat out Art Deco. Or
in the window, I still got that. It's like I think it's a 47 or whatever the hell it is. I
Okay.
got it off of you.
oh, okay,
And I have it in the window, sitting here still. It's like it's got the big cast gas tank with the handle on it, that big emblem that says McCulloch with the goose on it, and that emblem alone probably weighs 8 ounces. And you got steel nowadays, they're going and making like that MS400 or whatever with that magnesium piston.
Right,
like, how much are they saving just by that one little, like the metal change?
And aluminum hardware and everything to shave a couple ounces off a saw.
There, and like the McCulloch, it was so hard to cut wood without a machine back then that they could slap an 8-ounce decal on it and it didn't mean anything.
Yeah, the guy was like, man, I'll have 3 guys carry enough fuel that I can run this all day.
So in the window, I had like I whenever I put that little window together, I put like I went on eBay and just like got like some old signs. They're not real old signs.
I got you.
Like repops. And they're like one of them is a McCulloch ad, and it was for the 325.
Yeah.
The 325 was designated a 325 because it was 3 horsepower and 25 pounds, dry without a bar and chain on it.
Yes.
You know, and those bars and chains are heavy because that bar, the thickness of the bar, the height of the bar is.
You know the other big thing about a 325? That was
the diaphragm carbon.
Yeah. First time you could lay a chainsaw on his side and fell a tree and then buck it without having to rotate.
But imagine that. So that machine with fuel and oil in it and a bar and chain got to weigh at least 32 pounds. And that was a sales pitch back then.
Yeah.
That was a sales pitch back then. Now you got guys talking, oh, well, this one weighs 0.2 pounds lighter, and they're weighing them and putting them on a scale and everything. And it's like, that's how refined that this has become. That you're, like, it's just like a smartphone. Like, you know, they come out with an iPhone 13 and iPhone 13.
Right.
When they first were coming out with them, there were some big gains to be had. But
right.
now there's just not. Like, what are you going to do? Add another camera?
Right.
The camera, take the headphone jack out, put the What are you going to do at this juncture? So now you're getting into those auto tunes. You're getting into the
other minutia. Yeah.
The fuel injection and stuff like that. So now I think I want to move into what I had the guys talking about back there.
Okay.
And this we're going to play a game. Okay?
Bring it on. Sounds fun.
They're going to bring out parts.
Okay.
And I believe that both of us have to identify
what
it is without knowing what it is. Like, it's not, you know, it's going to come out and it's going to be like, yeah, it might be an intake boot, but what model does it fit?
Oh, whoa.
It might be a cylinder, but what model does it fit?
Ooh, okay.
Here we go. So I had Brandon selected the parts.
Yeah, I didn't.
So is Dave guessing, or how's this gonna?
You can both guess, but this is all steel, not concrete saw or anything. So all steel, all chain.
And that we made it so it was all steel for you because I knew that you were probably more steel centric than me.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I'm kind of a idiot in general, but I in generalities I know a lot of different things because like I think it would be unfair to bring out a bunch of Echo parts if you're not dealing with that stuff.
Okay, so am I allowed to actually look at it?
Yeah, these are aftermarket parts.
Yeah, this is aftermarket. This is a Farmer Tech 290 brake handle.
Huh? Did you know that, Chris?
Oh shit! I should have let you guess. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, I'll guess this one. I know exactly what this is.
Okay, then don't say it.
I want to say Husky 365, 372 clutch.
All steel. It is steel.
Oh, it is steel.
The 372 clutch does not use springs. They use like the metal clips.
Oh.
If I remember correctly.
Wow. Smaller saw, I think.
Older.
26?
Think older.
A 26? No.
Think older and horizontal. Well, potentially horizontal cylinder.
Like a 30, 31, 32?
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
I don't even let those in the shop. Guys bring them over and I'm like, set them on the trash can to hold the lid down.
Yes. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
What model?
18? 17?
18.
Wow.
Fast.
Okay.
Dave's pretty good. Maybe what you should do is select some parts for me to guess.
I feel like everything in here though, you kind of know. That's the.
Yeah, I mean, it all is all stuff.
I feel like that one's a curveball.
I think I know what that is. Is that the 403?
Is this a trimmer carb?
No. It's a top handle.
Oh.
Is that the 200?
Mm-mm.
192.
192.
Oh, I've never even seen a 192 aftermarket carb, but I don't think I've ever worked on a 192. The only one I ever owned, I sold because it ran, and I'm like, that's not a 200T, it's got to get out. Oh, we got a dome piston. 056 Mag 2?
Nice.
56.
Nice.
Nice. Who makes this?
Those are Taiwan, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's come out of Taiwan.
I don't hate this. I mean, somebody could definitely do a little cleaning up, but if they were going to stick it in a race saw,
www.sawsalvage.co.
nice. That's the 028 air filter,
Yep.
and that's the flocked one. Is this Oregon? Oregon
China.
makes two.
Yeah.
China.
Is it a China? Okay.
China.
I sell the Oregon ones, which is weird because they're way more expensive than directly from China. For some reason, they sell out fast, and the cheap one that to me looks the same sits there forever.
There's no rhyme or reason to something.
261.
No.
No?
Slightly bigger.
Oh, 362. Mark II.
No.
No. 291.
Early model 291.
Jesus, what would I ever know about a 291?
But they
That's a
suck.
290 with an extra little bit of suck added.
Wait. In that segment, tell me the Echo's the better saw.
What are we comparing to it?
4910.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. But is a 4910 like an 029 era?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm talking
but
about
you're
a
saying
291.
comparing to a 291?
291.
Oh, yeah, no question.
Yeah. And
No
50 bucks
question.
less. And 50
I wouldn't know.
bucks less.
I don't sell either one, but this looks like the last third of my condom. Probably gonna have to edit that, aren't we? Look at you.
No, dude.
MS290 fuel line. Galente.
Gillente.
Oh, damn. I mean, does he make you hand engrave these? That seems harsh.
With a chisel. By hand.
Yeah.
Oh. We're no choke, 3 needle.
That's got to be a
It's dink.
028.
No,
No choke.
Di-
038.
No.
no. Look, it's tiny. This is like the size of a
26.
26, maybe, like a WT
194.
215,
194.
194. Wow. God, look at that nozzle. This is actually really nice.
Thanks.
I'm gonna look at this some more when we're not still having a competition. Jesus. Oh, 360. No. No.
It's a chonky boy.
Is this an 038 or 381?
I'm feeling it's a 38. Yeah, that was my guess.
Yeah, this is a 38. The 381 is the same, identical, except for the style of fuel line. They don't use a molded line overseas. They have a grommet with a fuel line pushed
Well,
through
so
it.
because a lot of that's like jungle work. They're using them in the
I
jungle.
guess,
And
yeah.
They don't want to have
They're-
need special parts.
And I have 5 381 tanks just like this with the other thing. I think they're marked down to like, I don't know, $12 or something, and they've been sitting on my shelf for
Some of those
eternity.
Pretty regular.
Well, the 038s, I sold all those. I ordered
Yeah.
the 381.
Well, the 381 has never been in the U.S. market. That's why. That's a tight nickel cylinder. Have you ever seen
Right?
a tight
It's
nickels?
Highwell. Yeah. Yes,
They're
and
nice.
everything is nice, nicely made.
You can't
But,
board them.
yeah.
They'll flake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but understandably, Highway didn't develop that plating so you could port them.
Right. They're
not
saying,
even looking
hey,
at it.
we want you to use it this way, and this
Use it
is the
this way.
greatest plating on earth. But of course, the early adopter enthusiast for anything is a
I'm gonna
guy.
grind on it.
Is a guy who's
But
gonna
the
grind.
enthusiast market is a totally different market than the actual real world market.
Oh yeah,
It just is.
It absolutely is. So, man, this finish work is really very nice.
What's it fit?
Is this 562?
562.
No,
Talking steels,
no.
buddy, unless there's a steel 562.
Oh, God, it is a steel.
Yeah.
It's a big clamshell.
Yeah. What road are they going down, man? Look at that. What are they doing?
Wow. Man, that's. I'm still kind of staring at it, thinking, "Wow, this is awfully nice." Is that 391? 392? What the
Well,
fuck
give it
is this?
391 if you want to see it.
What is this?
Dave got stumped.
Yeah.
That's fine. I figured it would.
441 Mark II? No, that's not a clam.
No. Smaller. Smaller than a 291.
Oh. 251?
That's it.
Never seen a 251 in my life.
Oh, you just did?
Nice.
I'll grab one of those three.
I should have looked at the piston, but yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. That doesn't. I don't hate that. I don't know how much they charge. I don't think I would spend any money to repair a 251,
I
but
think they're $100.
yeah.
If you get a chainsaw, I mean, to replace them, I think, what are they, $350?
Probably.
Especially this past year, you can't hardly get them.
Mm-hmm.
We sell a lot of the cheaper ones.
Mhm.
Not so many of these.
Right?
It's a 391.
Okay. Was this one of your Titanicals?
That's just a regular
Okay.
Nicosil
Yeah.
Highway. Highway's the only manufacturer that's making the 391 right now. Although another company we deal with is developing it. So
I gotcha.
it's the same company that makes our 2100 cylinder and the
Nice.
Skelty DSH 700 concrete saw cylinder. So they'll be as nice as those.
Nice. 2100 is a good cylinder. I liked it. And it's got oil all over it when they ship it. That's fucking brilliant.
I like the smell.
I like knowing. It's nice.
So I gotta say, Dave, you did pretty good at the at the guessing. I think
No, there were a couple
the
that
carburetors can be confusing.
there's I mean 026 was simple, but I wasn't sure exactly. Yeah. That's a very crisp Venturi. I'm interested to see how that runs and see how guys like boring that out.
Right.
It's got kind of a fun looking jet too.
We changed the vendor on the carburetor, on some of the carburetors, because
Mhm.
it's a nice quality product, and
obviously they'll label it for you, which is nice.
that's a good thing too. Yep.
Yep.
It's funny because like on eBay, we sell a lot of stuff on eBay. If you look, people actually rip our name off.
Dude.
And like they rip your name off, and then they use it. They steal your pictures and cut your thing up.
Mhm.
I mean, realistically speaking, I mean a lot of our parts come from overseas too.
Sure.
It's just the way that it is. That's the
Mhm.
market. But the real advantage for us is that, like, you can call me on the phone,
Right?
and I'm going to get it right with you. Versus,
Yeah.
you know, like, because I remember, like, I've ordered stuff overseas before, and you send them pictures of stuff that's got problems, and what they say back to you is,
Sure.
looks good. Technicist said okay to run.
Technicist.
Technicist said
Yeah.
okay to run.
Yep.
You know, so like with me,
Make sure you put oil on piston.
right.
What? Okay. There's a big hole in the
And
jug.
and I got a vested interest in it because like I've got an establishment here.
Sure.
I like
yeah.
that my guys get their wages every week. You know what I'm saying? I like getting my wages every
I don't know that they deserve it, but somebody does.
They're pretty useless.
Yeah. From what I've seen.
But
Right.
I'm rather useless myself, so it's
Right.
It's pretty good for us. But I mean, I've got an interest in maintaining my customer base.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I'm not just trying to sell for the cheapest price. So with that comes some costs. But if you got a problem, and just like how you operate, if you've got a legitimate if somebody puts a cylinder on a chainsaw and blows it up, and they haven't done their homework on it, it's going to be on them. But if you've got a legitimate issue with something, just like how you know when you're selling parts like that, you're going to take care of it. You know?
My biggest one recently, a guy named Pat. He's over in Australia. Great dude. I've sold him stuff several times. He and a couple other guys put a big order together. And so I think we sent like a dozen the racing pistons that Wiseco makes for us.
It's big over there. It's big over there.
And several racing saws and chains and bars and all kinds of fun stuff. And I did a video on how to box all that. And I shipped it to him in June.
Still not there.
Got there yesterday. And we have been like sweating bullets because
It's an expensive box.
Yeah. I mean, it was $300 in postage. And if you insure something going to Australia for too much, they send it back and tell you need to have a commercial bondage shipping account with the Treasury Department in order to ship anything worth that much money. Because I sent him one that was like $2,500. I insured it for the whole thing because I thought
What service did you use?
I went through the post office.
Well, so internationally, well, right now you can't even ship to Australia through the postal service.
I was so happy when it showed up.
But for us, during last year, so what we used to do is we typically shipped all international orders to the eBay warehouse in Erlanger, Kentucky.
Right.
And they manage it from there. And then once it reaches their warehouse, the burden of it is off of me. I'm not responsible for that package anymore. So if it gets lost, the customer lets me know. I tell them to take it up with eBay, and eBay handles it. And I don't have to eat the costs of it.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit of the global shipping program.
Right.
Fantastic. Now, beginning around October last year, because I had changed how we shipped, because like I was just sending directly to the customer or giving him the option, because it saves money. Because when it goes to the global shipping program, everybody pays a little something.
eBay would like to touch some of that.
Yeah, but it also comes with that assurance.
Sure. Yep.
That, everything's going to get taken care of on both sides of the coin.
Right.
Well, I'm going to say like around October last year, things started getting like a mess postal service wise. I'm sure you went through a lot of that too. I lost thousands of dollars last year. Shipping things internationally. I quit doing it. I still ship international, but it either has to go using USPS. It has to go through a carrier that has it in their hands the whole time. UPS, DHL, or it has to go through the shipping thing.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'll do it.
Oh, you're such a good girl.
Come here, Bubs. You like Dave?
Yeah, ignore him. He's not sweet. I got treats out in the car. I really do. I'm sorry.
Now we're good. So I think we're going to probably do a couple of demonstrations. You got some kind
of
ridiculous chainsaw here.
Yep.
That's far beyond anything that I'm...
Yeah, it's not stock anymore.
Okay. I think we might move into that deal.
Yeah, sure.
And,
sounds good.
That's it. I'm going to call one of my guys that doesn't do anything over here and tell him.
You gonna whistle, or can you whistle?
Not well. Oh. How about you?
That wasn't good at all.
That was pretty good.
That was kind of crappy. Outside, when I whistle for the dogs, they actually come when I whistle. It's like this bizarre power. I mean, I never had pets before, but they're just gone.
Is that the only thing that comes when you whistle?
These days, sadly so.
Or the dog?
No, we were whistling at you, sexy.
He was just whistling in general, and you took it.
I thought it sounded like the dog like yelping. I thought she was.
Aww.
Like,
I think we're done.
Yeah.
oh, okay. Well, that doesn't seem to be a great way to wrap it up.
Well, I figure we like film. Should we do a separate outro? Because we're gonna we're gonna cut some shit out there.
Do you have anything you want to plug, Dave? Maybe you have YouTube going on. Do you want to talk about your YouTube for a second?
Yeah, go find it. Whatever.
Okay.
David Smith.
David
Which
Smith
is
on YouTube.
which is fucking dumb. It ought to be CCC Racing. I have 2 accounts, but all my videos.
You should be able to update the name.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I know.
What does it say on your website? I'll open soon. If you don't like it, eat me.
Something like that. I didn't realize that I had already paid for the service. I thought I was still just building, and I hadn't had time. It's only got like 10 items up there, and most of them have like a blurry little tiny photo.
Oh, that's what it says. I know my pictures suck.
Yeah,
Eat me.
ate me. So, and I, sent the link to some people
Well, I
just
mean,
to look to see if it works.
I guess that's the joy of having CCC Racing Pistons.
Yes.
You can tell people to eat you because
Right.
you're the only guy that got them.
Yep. That's true.
So.
And that's another thing that gets knocked off. Believe it or not. And I didn't understand it. I thought there was some dude pretending to be me on Amazon. Because I don't sell on Amazon. I buy a lot of shit on Amazon. The driver, knows my blood type. But I looked, and they were selling things with my eBay seller as their supplier. It took a bit of doing.
Well, they do that.
They are buying my products
And
drop shipping them to customers.
Yes. So I've had.
And
that
they're the
happen.
dudes who send you an email message saying, "Please don't
Dude,
include
gift
any
tags. Thank you. Yes. So I put the tag in there anyways. And then the other thing, because I get them like that, and I've had them do returns where it'll be like a double return. Like you could see,
Oh wow!
like they'll play it like that, and then I just report them to eBay because you're not allowed to drop ship on eBay.
Oh,
you're not allowed
okay.
to be a drop shipper on eBay. So like
Right.
part of I think on
Yeah,
Amazon you're allowed to drop ship.
Yeah,
But on eBay, it's actually against their policies to drop ship. And I don't sell on Amazon either.
right.
So.
It makes me think I should, but who knows? All right,
All right, we're going to move into the next thing.
let's go make some noise. This chair is kind of comfy, but
It's one size too small.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a $50 Chinese chair.
nice.
Does that thing run on regular gas plus nitrogen?